Understanding human behavior, particularly in relationships, can be complex. In a world filled with signals, it's essential to navigate these interactions with insight and awareness. Stoicism teaches us to observe without judgment, to remain calm in the face of uncertainty, and to seek knowledge that empowers us. This video will delve into the subtle signs that might indicate a woman has recently had intercourse. The goal is not to foster suspicion or insecurity, but to provide a deeper understanding of human behavior through the lens of Stoicism. Lesson 1. The subtle shift in confidence. When a woman has recently had intercourse, there might be a noticeable change in her demeanor. This change is often subtle, marked by a newfound confidence or an aura of satisfaction. This confidence can manifest in the way she walks, talks, or interacts with others. It's not about arrogance, but a quiet assurance that comes from feeling desired and connected. From a Stoic perspective, it's essential to approach this observation with a neutral mindset. Stoicism teaches us not to jump to conclusions or let our emotions dictate our interpretations. Instead, we should observe and understand without attaching unnecessary meanings or judgments. Recognizing this shift in confidence is about understanding the natural response of a person who feels valued and fulfilled. This confidence can also reflect in her body language. She might hold her head a little higher, maintain better posture, or exhibit a more relaxed demeanor. These are subtle indicators of a woman who feels more secure in herself. It's important to understand that this confidence isn't solely linked to physical intimacy, but also to the emotional connection she might have experienced. Furthermore, this newfound confidence might influence her social interactions. She may become more engaging, more willing to express her opinions, or simply more at ease in social settings. This doesn't mean she will be overtly different, but small, noticeable changes in how she carries herself could be a sign of recent intimacy. Stoicism encourages us to observe these changes without bias. The key is to remain calm and composed, and not allow our thoughts to be swayed by assumptions. This perspective allows us to see the world as it is, not as we imagine it to be. Lesson 2. Changes in physical appearance. Another potential sign that a woman has recently had intercourse is a change in her physical appearance. This could be anything from a slight glow to a more noticeable flush in her cheeks. After intercourse, the body undergoes various hormonal changes that can temporarily affect a person's appearance. For example, increased blood flow and the release of endorphins can give her skin a more radiant look. She might appear more relaxed, with a natural glow that wasn't there before. This isn't to say that every change in appearance indicates intimacy, but it can be a contributing factor. In addition to a glowing complexion, there might be other subtle signs, such as slightly tousled hair or a relaxed expression that's hard to miss. These physical changes are often involuntary, reflecting the natural after-effects of intimacy. It's also possible that she might take extra care with her appearance after such an experience. Perhaps she applies a little more makeup or chooses an outfit that makes her feel particularly attractive. These changes aren't definitive signs, but can be part of a broader pattern that suggests recent intimacy. However, as with any observation, Stoicism teaches us not to jump to conclusions based on these signs alone. Physical appearance can be influenced by a variety of factors, from a good night's sleep to a particularly satisfying workout. The key is to observe these changes in the context of other signs, maintaining a balanced and rational perspective. Lesson 3. A shift in mood. A woman's mood can be another indicator of recent intercourse. She might seem more content, relaxed, or even euphoric. This shift in mood can be subtle, but noticeable if you're paying attention. The emotional aftermath of intercourse often leaves a person feeling more connected, appreciated, and satisfied. This mood shift might manifest in her being more affectionate, more patient, or simply more at ease. She might laugh a little more easily or seem less stressed about things that would usually bother her. This doesn't mean she'll be in a completely different state of mind, but the change can be subtle yet significant. It's important to understand that this shift in mood is not just about physical satisfaction, but also about the emotional connection that often accompanies intimacy. The bond created during intercourse can leave a lasting impact, making her feel more secure and valued. Stoicism teaches us to observe these changes without attaching emotions or judgments. If you notice a shift in her mood, it's essential to remain calm and rational. Understanding the root of this change can help you better navigate your interactions with her, ensuring that you respond with empathy and understanding rather than suspicion or insecurity. Remember, a change in mood can have many causes, and while recent intimacy might be one of them, it's not the only possibility. A Stoic approach involves considering all potential factors before drawing any conclusions. Lesson 4. Increased affection or physical touch. One of the most telling signs that a woman has recently had intercourse is an increase in affectionate behavior or a greater willingness to engage in physical touch. This can manifest in different ways, such as holding your hand more often, seeking out hugs, or simply wanting to be close to you. This increase in affection is often a natural response to the intimacy she has experienced. After intercourse, people often feel a stronger bond with their partner, leading to a desire for more physical closeness. This doesn't necessarily mean she'll be overly affectionate, but there may be a noticeable increase in her desire for touch. For instance, she might initiate more physical contact, such as brushing your arm or sitting closer to you. This behavior is often unconscious, reflecting her need to maintain the emotional and physical connection she has recently experienced. Stoicism teaches us to observe this increase in affection without becoming overly attached to its meaning. It's essential to approach these situations with a calm and rational mindset, understanding that affection can be influenced by many factors. Whether it's a response to recent intimacy or simply a reflection of her feelings for you, the key is to remain composed and thoughtful in your observations. Increased physical touch can also be a way for her to express her feelings without words. If you notice this change, it's important to respond in kind, showing her that you appreciate and reciprocate her affection. However, always do so with the understanding that physical touch is just one aspect of a healthy relationship, and its meaning can vary depending on the context. Lesson 5. Changes in her communication style. After intercourse, a woman's communication style might change, becoming either more open or, in some cases, more reserved. This shift can be subtle, but if you're attuned to her usual patterns of communication, you might notice a difference. She might become more willing to share her thoughts and feelings with you, engaging in deeper, more meaningful conversations. This openness can be a reflection of the emotional connection she feels after intimacy, leading her to want to connect with you on a more profound level. Alternatively, she might become more reserved, taking time to process her emotions and thoughts before sharing them with you. This doesn't necessarily mean she's unhappy or dissatisfied. It could simply be her way of reflecting on the experience and what it means for your relationship. Stoicism teaches us to approach these changes in communication with patience and understanding. Rather than jumping to conclusions or allowing our emotions to dictate our responses, we should take the time to listen and observe. Understanding that communication is a two-way street, it's essential to create a safe space where she feels comfortable expressing herself. Changes in communication can also be influenced by external factors, such as stress at work or personal challenges. While recent intimacy might play a role, it's important to consider all possibilities and respond with empathy and understanding. A Stoic approach involves listening without judgment, allowing her to share her thoughts and feelings at her own pace. Lesson 6. A renewed interest in the relationship. Another potential sign that a woman has recently had intercourse is a renewed interest in the relationship. She might become more focused on the future, wanting to discuss plans or goals that involve both of you. This renewed interest can be a reflection of the emotional connection she feels after intimacy, leading her to think more deeply about your relationship. This shift in focus might manifest in her wanting to spend more quality time with you, planning activities that bring you closer together, or simply expressing a desire to strengthen your bond. This doesn't mean she'll be overly focused on the future, but there may be a noticeable increase in her interest in the relationship's direction. Stoicism teaches us to approach this renewed interest with a calm and rational mindset. While it's natural to feel excited or hopeful about these changes, it's essential to remain grounded and not let emotions cloud your judgment. Understanding that relationships evolve over time, it's important to appreciate her renewed interest without placing undue pressure on the relationship. This renewed interest might also lead her to ask more questions about your feelings and intentions. She might want to understand where you see the relationship going or how you feel about certain aspects of your partnership. These conversations can be an opportunity to deepen your connection, but it's important to approach them with honesty and openness. Increased interest in the relationship can also be a sign of emotional growth, as she becomes more invested in building a future together. While this can be a positive development, it's important to ensure that both of you are on the same page and that your goals and aspirations align. Lesson 7. A noticeable calmness or contentment. A woman who has recently had intercourse might exhibit a noticeable sense of calmness or contentment. This sense of peace can be a reflection of the emotional and physical satisfaction she has experienced, leaving her feeling more at ease and relaxed. This calmness might manifest in her being less reactive to stress or challenges, handling conflicts with a level-headed approach. You might notice that she seems more patient, less prone to frustration, or simply more at peace with her surroundings. This change in demeanor isn't about apathy or indifference, but rather a deeper sense of inner contentment. From a Stoic perspective, this calmness is a reminder of the importance of maintaining emotional equilibrium. Stoicism teaches us that peace of mind comes from within, and a woman's contentment after intimacy is a natural extension of this principle. Observing this calmness can be an opportunity to reflect on how emotional satisfaction impacts overall well-being. It's important to recognize that this sense of calm might be temporary, influenced by the immediate after-effects of intimacy. However, it can also be indicative of a deeper emotional fulfillment that extends beyond the physical act. This contentment might inspire her to be more present in the moment, enjoying the little things in life and feeling more connected to herself and those around her. For instance, she might engage more fully in activities she enjoys, showing a renewed appreciation for her hobbies or interests. This newfound contentment can also positively impact her relationships as she becomes more attuned to the needs and emotions of others. Stoicism encourages us to view this calmness with a balanced perspective. While it's natural to appreciate the positive changes in her demeanor, it's also essential to understand that true contentment comes from within and is not solely dependent on external factors. Observing this sign with a Stoic mindset means appreciating the calmness without becoming overly attached to it or allowing it to dictate your actions or emotions. Lesson 8. Increased desire for personal space or independence. Interestingly, one of the signs that a woman has recently had intercourse might be an increased desire for personal space or independence. While intimacy often brings people closer together, it can also prompt a need for personal reflection or time alone to process emotions and experiences. This increased desire for independence doesn't necessarily mean she's pulling away. Rather, it can be a way for her to reconnect with herself after a deeply personal experience. She might seek out activities that she enjoys on her own, such as reading, exercising, or spending time with friends. This is not a sign of rejection, but rather a healthy expression of her need for balance. From a Stoic perspective, respecting her need for personal space is essential. Stoicism teaches us the value of autonomy and the importance of allowing others the freedom to navigate their own emotions. If you notice that she's seeking more independence, it's important to honor this without taking it personally or feeling threatened. This desire for personal space can also reflect her confidence in the relationship. She may feel secure enough to take time for herself without fearing that it will negatively impact your connection. This independence is a sign of a healthy relationship dynamic where both partners are free to maintain their individuality. Stoicism encourages us to approach this situation with understanding and respect. It's important to communicate openly, ensuring that both of you feel comfortable expressing your needs and boundaries. Recognizing her desire for independence can help you both maintain a balanced and fulfilling relationship. Lesson 9. Subtle changes in routine or habits. Changes in a woman's routine or habits can also be an indication that she has recently had intercourse. These changes might be small, such as staying up later, altering her grooming habits, or even adjusting her daily schedule to accommodate new priorities. For example, she might start paying more attention to her appearance, taking extra care with her hair or makeup. Alternatively, she might develop new habits, like spending more time texting or communicating with someone new. These changes in routine can be subtle, but if you're observant, they can provide clues about her recent experiences. Stoicism teaches us to observe these changes without making assumptions. It's essential to approach these signs with a neutral mindset, understanding that routines and habits can shift for a variety of reasons. Rather than jumping to conclusions, take the time to understand the context of these changes and what they might signify. Changes in routine can also be influenced by her desire to explore new experiences or to reflect her evolving interests. For instance, she might take up a new hobby or start engaging in activities that make her feel more connected to herself. These shifts can be positive, indicating growth and self-discovery. A Stoic approach involves viewing these changes with curiosity rather than judgment. By observing without attaching emotions or biases, you can better understand her needs and desires. This perspective allows you to respond thoughtfully, supporting her as she navigates her changing routines and habits. Lesson 10. Variations in her social interactions. Interpersonal dynamics can change when a woman has recently had intercourse. She might become more outgoing, showing a greater interest in socializing and connecting with others. Alternatively, she might become more introspective, preferring to spend time in smaller, more intimate settings. This change in social interactions is often a reflection of her current emotional state. After intimacy, she might feel more connected to those around her, leading to an increased desire for social engagement. Conversely, she might feel the need to withdraw slightly, taking time to process her emotions in a more private setting. From a Stoic perspective, it's essential to respect her social choices without attempting to control or influence them. Stoicism teaches us to value the freedom of others and to allow them the space to navigate their own social interactions. Observing changes in her behavior without judgment can help you better understand her needs and how to support her. These variations in social interactions can also provide insights into her overall well-being. If she's seeking more social engagement, it might indicate a need for connection and validation. On the other hand, if she's withdrawing, it could suggest that she's processing deeper emotions and requires some personal space. It's important to communicate openly and honestly about her needs, ensuring that you both feel comfortable with the evolving dynamics of your relationship. A Stoic approach involves maintaining a balanced perspective, appreciating her individuality, and supporting her as she navigates her social world. Lesson 11. A shift in her focus on self-care. After experiencing intimacy, a woman might place a greater emphasis on self-care. This can manifest in various ways, such as engaging in activities that promote her physical and emotional well-being. She might start exercising more regularly, paying closer attention to her diet, or simply taking time to relax and recharge. This shift in focus on self-care is often a reflection of her desire to feel good about herself and maintain her overall health. It's not just about physical appearance, but also about nurturing her mental and emotional well-being. This emphasis on self-care can be a positive sign that she's prioritizing her needs and taking steps to enhance her quality of life. From a Stoic perspective, self-care is an essential component of a balanced and fulfilling life. Stoicism teaches us the importance of looking after our own well-being, both physically and mentally. Observing her commitment to self-care can serve as a reminder of the value of maintaining a healthy balance in all aspects of life. Encouraging her self-care practices without imposing your own expectations is crucial. It's important to support her choices, recognizing that her focus on self-care is a personal journey. Whether it's through exercise, mindfulness, or simply taking time for herself, her self-care routine is a reflection of her commitment to her own happiness and well-being. A Stoic approach involves respecting her autonomy and understanding that her self-care practices are an expression of her individuality. By appreciating her dedication to self-care, you can foster a deeper connection based on mutual respect and understanding. Conclusion. Understanding the subtle signs that a woman has recently had intercourse requires a calm, observant, and non-judgmental approach. Through the lens of Stoicism, we learn to observe without attaching unnecessary emotions or biases. The goal is to gain insight into human behavior, appreciating the complexity of interpersonal dynamics without allowing assumptions to dictate our responses.